What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new action camera review. For today I have a very affordable action camera from Xiaomi, well, a company owned by Xiaomi called Mijia. This right here costs about $100 and it can record in real 4K. This camera is using the Umbrella A12S75 processor, and this is the same processor that we've seen for the SJ Cam 7, for example. We also have the Sony IMX317 image sensor with a field of view of 145 degrees. With most action cameras I do a quick unboxing so I can show you what comes in the box, but with this one we don't really get anything in the box. So you get the camera, you get the cable and the user manual, and that's pretty much it, so no waterproof case or anything else. The camera is made out of plastic entirely, and I kind of like the simplicity of it because we only have one button versus like 4 that we usually get on most action cameras. On the front we have a small LED and the lens. On top we have the holes for the speaker and a hole that could be the microphone, and of course that button that I mentioned earlier. On the left hand side you're gonna find a little flap that covers a micro USB charging port. We have another hole that could be another microphone, and all the way at the bottom we are gonna find a little plastic door that can be opened so you can access the battery. So inside this camera we have a removable 1450 mAh battery that will give you about an hour and 25 minutes of recording in 4K or about 2 hours of recording in 1080p. Charging the battery takes about an hour and a half. And since we are talking about charging, the camera can also record while it's charging, and that's great mostly if you're doing time lapses. And talking about time lapses, the camera has an option of doing time lapses by itself, so all you have to do is press one button, and this is actually an example of a time lapse that I've done with this camera. And you could technically use this as a dash cam in your car, but there is no actual car mode in the settings there, so you're gonna have to use it like an action camera in your car. And since we are talking about the microphone earlier, I'm also gonna show you a few clips so you can see how the microphone recording sound from this camera. What's happening everyone, this is our first microphone test to this new Xiaomi camera that I'm trying out. As you can see, I am inside the car, the windows are closed, and you should only be able to hear my voice, nothing else. So this is how the microphone sounds. For our second microphone test, I am outside. It is a bit windy and I'm talking behind the camera and I'm walking the exact same time. So you may hear some wind next to my voice. But this is how the microphone sounds if you're recording outside. Alright, so we have another microphone test with this Xiaomi camera. I'm recording in 4K at 30 frames per second, and as you can probably see, I am on the bicycle, so it is a bit windy. So this is how the microphone sounds under these conditions. And as you've heard, the microphone recordings sound quite good and probably among the best that I've heard from any action camera in the past year, I would say. Next we are going to move to the back of the camera. So we have a 2.4 inches touchscreen with a resolution of 960 by 480, and the screen does look quite sharp. The screen is somewhat brighter than most action cameras that I've seen in the past, however it doesn't get that bright so you can actually see it well in direct sunlight. So it really depends where you are and how much sun is hitting the screen, because it may be difficult to see at times. The touch sensitivity is also decent, but not as good as you would find on a smartphone, but good enough so you can actually control the camera, so no issues with the touchscreen. This camera can also make a Wi-Fi network, and therefore it can be controlled from your smartphone. Of course, you're gonna have to download an app on your smartphone, and the app is called the Xiaomi Mi Home app, and you can download that on iOS or Android. The app is very simple to use, it's also in English, and it only takes a couple of seconds to connect to the camera. What I like the most about the app and the camera is the fact that there is almost no lag whenever you're moving the camera and whatever you're seeing on the screen. From the app you can also change settings, you can change the resolution, you can start recordings, you can stop recordings, and you can even see what you have saved on the camera. However, you're gonna have to download those files right on your smartphone before you see them. Another feature worth mentioning is the electronic image stabilization. However, the electronic image stabilization only works if you're recording in 1080p. So whenever you're recording in 4K, there is no electronic image stabilization. And this is a quick sample of the image stabilization on for 1080p and with the image stabilization on for 4K. And as you've seen for yourself, the daytime recordings look very good and very crispy and probably among the best that I've seen from any action camera in the past year and a half. So definitely on par with the recordings that you'd get from a GoPro 5, if not even better. Next we are gonna check out some recordings that I've done at nighttime. And as you've seen for yourself, the nighttime recordings don't look anywhere as good as the ones done during the day, but that's quite normal for action cameras. However, I was actually expecting a bit more considering how good the footage was during the day. So this camera can also take pictures, so what I like most about this camera is the fact that you can actually select 16:9 pictures. And all the pictures that you are seeing right now are actually taken with this camera, so in my opinion the pictures do look quite good. Using the camera, it's also very simple. So if you swipe right from your home screen, you get to all the modes available. So you have a video mode, you have a time-lapse video mode, slow motion, and you can record in either 1080p or 720p. We also have like a loop recording, photo picture mode, a timer, and so on. If you swipe left from your home screen, you have access to all your pictures, your videos, so basically everything that you have saved on the camera. Each mode has its own settings menu, and from there you have access to changing the resolution, so the resolution of the recording, the quality of the recording or of the pictures. You can adjust the lens distortion, you can turn on or off the electronic image stabilization, but this only works if you are recording in 1080p and so on. And lastly, if you swipe down from your home screen, you have access to this quick toggle menu, and there you can access the general settings app for the camera. In there you can change the brightness for the screen, and you have 3 settings for the screen's brightness. You can also change the languages, you can format the SD card and so on. And it's time to conclude this video. So for about $100 this offers really good value, mostly because of the quality of the recordings during the day. If you're planning to record at nighttime, this is not gonna be the best camera for you, and I wish the camera would actually come with a waterproof case, because you spend $100 and you don't get a waterproof case. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.